Hi, everyone. So I am going to, I have the, the court order that required me to go into treatment. His mom, his family put him into his first treatment program and was signed by the judge on January 8th, 2013. Um, so this was his first treatment. So I'm going to read his mom's letter. I have not read this. So first time me reading this. And let me just, so this was 2013. I have some pictures to show you from 2003. And this is really goes into, um, like Nate said that his drinking was out of control starting in 2003. So, and I'm going to be respectful of other people in the photo, but there he is with his beer, 2003. This is when he was in college. Um, and that's 1998 to 2003 is when he says that his drinking was out of control. Now, I do know when he was 16 and his family, his mom and dad did separate or divorce, that he and his friends would, I guess they would drink a lot. His dad was in the military, and so he was gone often. And so that gave the opportunity for the teenagers to have full access to alcohol. And I know that there was a lot of alcohol at that time. So another photo from 2003, and you can see his eyes. I can tell from his eyes that has had a lot to drink. And anyway, so let me start reading here. This is again from what his mom wrote to the court. So Nathan's drinking history goes back to when he was in high school, growing up in Germany as a military kid. He started drinking at age 16, but reports his drinking was only out of control since his college years from 1998 to 2003. Friends have stated that they noticed he was morning drinking at age 22 to 23. As recently as 3 years ago, he admitted to his father he would power drink 6 to 12 beers before a work shift. 6 to 12, I can't even imagine. Before work shift at Best Buy. Other signs of loss of control, including being forced being forced from several jobs, fired. It's hard to read her handwriting. Fired from several jobs, including Best Buy in October 2012, due to having blackouts, walking off job because of feeling sick. In February 2009, Nate became ill with vomiting and, number two, what it was liquid. It was not solid. He failed to show up for work and had a seizure behind the wheel of his car in Shreveport, Louisiana. He crashed his car. This is what alcohol does to you. Actually, alcoholism, and I remember Nate talking about this. He could not keep alcohol down. And because he couldn't keep alcohol down, then he had a seizure. So his alcohol withdrawal caused him to have a seizure, and he had an accident. So he had a seizure behind the wheel of his car in Shreveport, Louisiana. He crashed his car and was hospitalized for 12 days with kidney failure, high blood pressure, and hypothermia, low blood sodium. It looks like hypothermia. Anyway, he received very little outpatient treatment thereafter and soon returned to daily use of 12 to 24 beers a day. I can't imagine. In October 2012, while still living in Shreveport, he began to vomit blood which went on for several days. He was hospitalized on 10/15/2012 when roommates compelled him to go. Doctors in the ER expressed to me that his vital signs were not consistent with life. Not consistent with life, meaning, and Nate told me this story that his doctor said that he was a walking dead man. They had no idea how he was still alive. So his mom writes that he should have been the doctors told her that Nate should have been in a cardiac arrest. He was treated for GI bleeding, low potassium, low sodium, low white cell count, alcoholic anorexia, and alcohol withdrawal. He agreed. And this is my first time reading this. I didn't even know there was such a thing as alcohol anorexia. Nate agreed to accompany me to the Quad Cities, meaning his mom, to the Quad Cities, where he was voluntarily admitted into Riverside. I did not know he went involuntarily one time. He was voluntarily admitted to Riverside at Trinity Medical Center on October 22nd, 2012. He did 21 days inpatient and approximately 5 weeks intensive outpatient treatment, during which he resumed alcohol use up to about 2 to 3 times per week. That's kind of shocking. I believe it was probably more than 2 to 3 times a week. I've never seen him be able just to drink 2 to 3 times. In the last 13 years, he has never had more than 2 periods of 30 days sober at any time since discharge from outpatient treatment at Riverside. He has resided at home with us, obtained and already lost a seasonal job with Barnes & Noble. On Thursday, 12/27/12, Nathan called from work saying he had fallen down and had blood on his white shirt. He was disoriented and could not remember several details about the incident. He appeared drunk, but insisted he had not had anything to drink. His boss told him he could leave because of his bloody shirt. We insisted on going to the ER. Once there, his blood alcohol was determined to be 0.426. Oh my. Later, he admitted to power drinking a pint of vodka on his lunch hour. I can't even imagine. I'm still shocked about his blood alcohol level. I didn't know that you could have a BAC of that much. My son is a danger to himself. If he is not compelled to stay in treatment, he will die very soon. Wow. That is, I can't believe that. So that's Nate's journey to actually get into getting into treatment. And then the next thing I have, I just want to make sure there's not anything on here. So the next document I have this was filed January 14th of 2013. At the time and place of this matter, this is from the judge. By agreement of the parties, he will be, this case shall continue for a period. Oh, it's a continuance of 60 days. So they put him into CADS, which is a local treatment center there. Respondent has agreed to residential treatment at CADS during the period of continuance. So during this continuation, and then this is Nate's. This is an physical examination that somebody did. Obviously a doctor did this. And so is your judgment, it's really hard because this is a copy. So several unsuccessful attempts to abstain and has been unsuccessful. In your judgment, is the respondent treatable? Yes. Severe alcohol dependence, depression, impaired liver function, GI bleeding, and seizure disorder. Is your judgment, is the respondent likely to physically injure himself or others? Yes. He will continue to harm himself and others if he continues to drink, which is interesting because he hit me with his car when he was drinking. In your judgment, is the respondent likely to inflict severe emotional injury on those who cannot avoid contact with the respondent? Yes. Can the respondent be evaluated on an outpatient basis? No. And I remember during Nate's last relapse, he refused to go to treatment. He would not go to treatment. Basis for answer. Client's problem is quite severe with regards to safety. Can the respondent, without danger to self or others, be released to the custody of a relative? No. Is full hospitalization necessary for evaluation? Possibly. Does the respondent have prior history of treatment for substance abuse? Yes. Has the patient been medicated within 12 hours of this time of this hearing? Yes. If so, what is it? So is given lithium during detox. So that was an MD at CADS that actually wrote this up. And then this is from the court. Mr. Weaver was admitted to this is also from the treatment center. Mr. Weaver was admitted to our detox unit on 1/8/2013 at 11 a.m. He reported he had drunk 3 16-ounce cans of beer and took 1 tab of Xanax within 24 hours prior to his admission. Which I didn't know he took Xanax with alcohol. That comes in later because they put him back on benzos when he was sober. When I met him, he was taking benzos. And I didn't realize, like, as an addict, you shouldn't take those. Wow. Anyway, so he knew you cannot mix the two at all. Anyway, his BAC upon admission was 0. But he had been in the hospital. A urologist obtained and a dip completed, which showed presumptive positive for benzos. Lab levels are pending at the time of this letter. He is currently prescribed Librium 5 mg every 6 hours for the prevention of seizure-related alcohol withdrawal. While in our detox unit, he showed the following signs and symptoms of withdrawal: nausea, fine to moderate tremors, mild to severe anxiety, mild agitation, mild dysmorphia, poor sleep, sweats, and sensitivity to sounds. Medical history. Mr. Weaver denies having a primary care physician. He reports going to the ER for medical concerns. He reports history of 1 alcohol withdrawal-related seizure and I don't know what that word is, in 2009. He reports history of hematesis, hypoleukemia, and I'm saying these all wrong, and liver damage related to alcohol use in 2012. He denies history of illicit drug use. Interesting. He denies history of hepatitis. His height is 5'10" and weight 170 pounds. He reports no known drug allergies. He reports family history of alcoholism with his paternal grandfather. So interesting on this, he did use cocaine, Xanax, um, mushrooms. I can't remember. There was another document where I had no idea. I knew he had used cocaine, but his cocaine usage had increased. So anyway, mental health. Mr. Weaver reports he was diagnosed with depression, anxiety in Moline, Illinois in December of 2012. He is currently prescribed Camprol, and Selexia. He does not plan to follow up with this doctor. Mr. Weaver prefers to follow up with Vera French since they are on the Iowa side, which is interesting because Vera French, they started prescribing him benzos. Why would you prescribe somebody who has an issue and an addiction problem? Why would you prescribe them benzos? And going through the recovery documents, he has an issue with benzos. He was abusing Xanax. Why would you prescribe it to him? And he's a known alcoholic. And that's in the Bureau of French documents that I found as well. Anyway, I've had major issues with that facility. He denies history of suicidal thoughts. While in our detox unit, he was alert-oriented. He was pleasant and cooperative to staff and peers. Substance use, alcohol. Mr. Weaver reports he lived in Germany with his father on base at age 17. He reports the legal age for drinking is 18 in Germany. He reports drinking is pretty common over there. He reports he was drinking every weekend 3 to 4 beers. He reports his pattern slowly increased to the age 27 when he began having a problem, which is interesting because at the other letter that Nate had, or like his friends and family said that his drinking increased in 1998. It started, and he was drinking in the morning. And he lost his soccer scholarship during college due to his drinking. So anyway, Nate reports in 2006 at age 27, he began drinking a 12-pack of beer daily. He reports he is now drinking on his own by himself. He reports this continued until 2009, age 30. He reports he began having health-related issues to use. He reports in 2009, he was living in Louisiana, had a seizure-related alcohol withdrawal while he was driving. It was also diagnosed with, and it's a word I cannot pronounce. And then he was in a coma for 3 days, in the ICU for 4 days, with a 2-week hospitalization. He reports he was sober for 2 months following this hospitalization. He reports he then began drinking slowly. 1 month later, he was drinking a 12-pack daily again. He reports in October of 2012, he started drinking 7 to 8 shots of vodka daily in addition to the 12-pack of beer and began vomiting blood, went to the hospital and was diagnosed with severe hypokalemia and was at a high risk for, oh man, I don't know that one, myocardial infarction, and was also told he had some liver damage / fatty liver. He reports he was hospitalized for 4 to 5 days. He reports his mother then flew him to Iowa and began residential treatment with Riverside in October of 2012 and successfully completed 21 days. He reports he almost completed intensive outpatient through Riverside following the completion of residential treatment from November to December of 2012. He reports he had a couple of days left when he told his relapse prevention classes were $260 and he could not afford it, which is so interesting. His relapse prevention classes were $260. So if that's the case, I guarantee you his mom would have. Right. Anyway, that's an excuse. This is him using an excuse. He reports he was sober for 2 weeks, then returned to drinking 3 to 4 beers daily or every other day for the past 2 months. His mother alleges that he resumed use when he was engaged in intensive outpatient treatment. Mr. Weaver denies. And this is, I believe, his mother. His mother alleges that on 12/27/12, Mr. Weaver went to the ER after falling at his job with a BAC of 0.426. He states he does not know what his BAC was, states he fell on the ice, denies losing his job at Barnes & Noble due to use, and he states it was a seasonal job. Interesting with regards to that, I remember when I met Nathan, he told me about this situation, and he went during his break and he drank and he hid behind a garbage can and drank during his lunch break, got up, he did slip on the ice, went back into work, and then that's when he went into the hospital. So his BAC was 0.426. Xanax. Mr. Weaver reports one-time use on 1/7/2013. He reports his mother gave him 1 tab of Xanax to help with alcohol withdrawal symptoms. He reports she is prescribed the medication. Which is so interesting because other documentation, he has issues with Xanax. And he has written in his recovery documents that he has issues with Xanax. History of substance abuse treatment. Mr. Weaver reports outpatient treatment in 2009 in Louisiana. He reports he maintained 1 month sobriety following this treatment experience. He reports residential treatment followed by intensive outpatient treatment with Riverside from October until December of 2012, with 2 weeks sobriety following. Social history. Mr. Weaver reports he is single and has no children. He reports he resides with his mother and stepfather. He reports he has been unemployed for the past week. He reports he completed seasonal work for Barnes & Noble 1 week ago. He reports 16 years education, business degree. He reports having a valid driver's license, denies having a vehicle. He reports his source of sober support is his mother and members of AID. We, the Center for Alcohol and Drug Services criteria, recommend him to level 3 residential treatment with Center for Alcohol and Drug Services. If the court agrees with this recommendation, he will begin immediately following the hearing. At the time of this letter, he is willing to stipulate and to the recommended level of care. So that's it. That is how they were able to get him into treatment legally. They legally went to court, and this happened 4 times. They legally went to court. His mom still has an order of protection. So she got an order of protection, or not order of protection. What's it called? Power of attorney. She has a power of attorney over Nathan, or had a power of attorney over Nathan. And so he tried to sign himself out several times and he couldn't. And so that kept him in those treatment centers. So anyway, more to come. Subscribe. I'm going to get this uploaded, posted, 23 minutes of reading. That's a lot. I have another video to share too. And so I want to get this done because I have to clean my house and I need to sleep. Fine. I just wanted to go through this and share this with everybody because those of you who are struggling do not get to this state. Stop drinking. Stop using your drugs. I know, and this is the thing. I understand that you can't just stop. I totally understand that. Confide in somebody, call a sponsor, or if you're thinking about relapsing, play the real forward. Do not end up like Nate. Nate was 6.5 years sober. His son was almost 2. His daughter was 4 months old when he had his first relapse in 2020. In March of 2024, 2 inpatient treatment centers later, 5 relapses, his body was found. And I had to identify him by his tattoo. Do not be that person at all. Stop now. If you're thinking about relapsing, don't. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Please get help. Contact your sponsor. Go to a meeting. Get help now. It is never too late. Subscribe. Comment for anything else you want to learn, you want to know about. I have so many other things to go through. But comment, and definitely for anything that you're looking for that you want information on, I'm an open book. Nate's words are an open book as well. And what was my other item? Subscribe. Make sure to subscribe so when things are posted, when I have new videos, I have things scheduled throughout the week that are getting posted. Subscribe so that you get notified when those are coming out. So I have things like weight loss. I have an issue with binge eating, GLP-1 medication, being a single mom, how I managed with an order of protection, domestic abuse. This is why this channel is called Only Shannon Knows. So subscribe so you get notified, and then watch when you have time. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone. Happy day. Happy Sunday.